Should sex be every day in a marriage? Should two married people have sex every day in their marriage? If this sounds like something that you want to hear, if you want to hear what I think about that, please stay tuned and keep watching. My name is bookoluwatosinsanusi, and you're welcome to the Grace Generation TV. On this channel, we talk about love, marriage, relationships, but most importantly, doing all of these things God's way because we believe and we stand by the conviction that that is the best way to do it. So we try to teach people how we believe that this should be done and also pray along. If this sounds like something that you want to be a part of, please subscribe, please like, and please share, and go through all the other content on the channel and learn something and pray. We have prayer sessions, so pray through and then learn. Welcome to my channel once again. I'm so glad that you're here. And if this is not your first time, if you're returning, I'm glad that you're here as well. Thank you so much for always watching. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys my opinion about this amazing topic. Should sex be every day in a marriage? Before I got married, I listen to you guys know me. I consume a lot of relationship content, marriage content before I got married, and even now. And I was watching this particular interview, and the woman was asked what was one of the things that shocked her when they got married, and she mentioned the fact that it was like sex was literally every day, and she mentioned that her husband had actually talked about it before they got married, that they were going to be having sex every day, but she was like, that who does that? Like, that's not even possible. But fortunately for her, or shockingly for her, he actually meant it. So what's my opinion about it? Should sex be every day in a marriage? I'll say it depends on the people in the marriage. In marriage, first of all, because different strokes for different folks. So it depends on the people in the marriage. It depends on the man. It depends on the woman, and I believe that it depends on a number of other things that we need to consider. So first of all, what's their libido level? So generally, it's been tested, but also assumed that men have a higher libido than women, and men are usually like the initiators of sex so many times. And it's just been something that has been established over time that men have a higher libido, women have a lower libido. So it depends on that. It depends on the libido of the people in the marriage. Do they have a high libido that is enough, or pushing them or sustaining them, to sustain that level of desire, right? So is the libido matching the desire to have sex every day? Does the libido match it? Is the libido high to match that level of desire? And are they on the same page? Is the woman's libido also matching the man's libido in the marriage? These are important things to consider. And if it doesn't match, then there has to be some sort of compromise, because the low level of libido kind of reduces the desire for sex, because the higher the libido, the higher the desire for sex or sexual intimacy in a marriage. So there has to be some sort of compromise. So it will make sense if both of them have like really high libido, and then we can say this is definitely a possibility. But if they do not, then there has to be a level of compromise, because it's not going to work for the person that has the lower libido in the marriage. So there has to be a compromise. So this is something that you have to discuss before marriage, okay, and take their word for it. It's not something that you assume. Like, if they say they want to have sex every day, you do not assume and say that's not true, that's not possible. Like, nobody does that. Hello, people do, okay? So you have to believe what they say. If you think that you can match up to that, please, by all means, I'm rooting for you, okay? But if you feel like you cannot match up to that, then you need to talk about it and reach a compromise. Another thing I think that we should consider is people's belief about sex. Okay, you need to know where your partner stands about sex. Some people see sex as something that it should just be done and get over it. If you have sex like once in a week, that's okay to sustain you to the other week. While some people see sex as a source of livelihood, I'm joking. So you need to talk about it. You need to know their belief about sex. Where do they stand? what do they believe about sex. As much as sex is like beautiful within the confines of marriage, some people are still okay with 1 day. Some people still believe that once in a week is fine, once in 2 weeks is fine, once in 3 weeks is fine. So you need to talk about it. You know their beliefs about sex, so you know that if you would know if the idea is even acceptable to them or not. You need to talk about it. Another thing that you need to talk about is, do you even have time to have sex every day? Like what you're doing. Do you have time to have sex every day? You need to like weigh these things. Do you have the time for sex every day? And if you believe that you have the time, again, I'm rooting for you, go ahead. But if you believe that, like, there are other things to do, right? So if you believe that, then you need to also come on a compromise. I strongly believe that sometimes sex should be scheduled, because we get so busy with life sometimes that, especially for people that don't have high libidos, like it might not even cross your mind in like days, right? Because of like how busy life gets. So I believe that sometimes you might need to like schedule something to say that, you know what, at least maybe not the days, but you see, my husband and I tried scheduling days for sex in the early years of our marriage, but it didn't work. Okay. So anyway, like maybe not the days, but you can say, at least we must have sex like 2 times in a week, or at least 3 times in a week. So even if that thing they say that if you shoot for the is it for the moons, if you don't get to the moon you eat the stars or something like that. Anyway, if you try to reach those 3 days, at least if you can't, at least you know that you get at least 1 day or 2 days in the week. So at least you know that the week didn't just roll by. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that you talk about this also, and probably schedule, to say, you know what, we need to do this week, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. Whatever works for you guys. Again, different strokes for different folks. If you guys want every day, again, see, I'm rooting for you, okay? Like, you guys are the real MVP. You need to do master class for us. And finally, you need to know that it depends on the sexual preference of the two people in the marriage. What is your sexual preference? I think this can be likened to the belief. But what's the sexual preference of the two people in the marriage? How do they like sex? Some people always require like a process before they get there, and some people can live with just, let's do this thing, chap 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 chap, cookies all around, and that works for them. And some people can absolutely balance the two depending on the timing they have and the situation, or when the desire came. So it's important that you talk about these things. Some people believe that quickies are wrong. Like, you can't have quickies like it seems like a like there's no process, they're not in it, and some people just can't do it. They just feel detached from the whole process. So you need to talk about sexual preferences. For people that require a process before they get there, it's about the journey for them. Then that every day might not work, because again, time, right? So you need to talk about these things. So let me run through them again. Level of libido, time, preference, and belief. You need to talk about, if you're not married, please, these are things that you need to talk about at least like towards the when your relationship has gotten serious, you know that this thing is heading for marriage. Then these are things that you need to talk about, because people have sexual fantasies. Okay, people have built sexual fantasies from when they were kids. People have imaginations of how they want the first night of their marriage to be. People have thoroughly thought about these things. So you need to talk about it. Don't leave it to chances. Don't leave it to, let's see how it goes. These are things you need to talk about. Know your partner's sexual preferences. Your partner can be imagining snake in a monkey shadow, and you are a humble, godly child of God. I'm joking, that's a joke. But you know what I'm saying. So let there be some sort of compromise, and there's no contrast. Okay, come to a middle ground before you guys go into marriage, because sex is very, very, very important in a marriage. It's not something you want to joke with, because it can like scatter the marriage. So, and you do not want that. So talk about it and answer these questions by yourself. I'm not going to answer it for you, because it depends on you and your partner. Whatever rocks your boat, my darling. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please drop your comments. Okay, I really want to hear back from you guys on this comment, so that we can know the people that need to give us master class. Okay, on this sex thing. All right. All right, guys. Bye.